Welcome to the Mystery Channel, where the veil is thin and the echoes of ancient knowledge speak through myth, magic, and the turning of the cards.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're okay.
Yes. This Thursday in November, the month just seems to fly right by.
Yeah, time flies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Yeah. Definitely.
I just quit writing. I was writing for another 2 hours on the next essay on our winter festivals, and as we said it on Tuesday, it's titled Winter Warriors. Maybe sounds like a strange name, but if you will read the essay and be part of the event, you will definitely understand why that is, because it does have a basic martial understanding, because the Woden's Wild Hunt is a band of fierce warriors in the end. So that's the why of the title.
Yeah, no, I like it too.
Yeah. Is there any news, Morgan? Did you have any questions or requests from community members?
Oh, yes, definitely. Because we had the tarot part 2 that I know people are catching up on, and then the new one with the Game of Hope, Lenormand. And somebody had commented in YouTube wanting to know more about you specialize in that too, like what you thought of it, like descriptions of it, like how you would use it differently. Just mostly basic information. Now I'm trying to remember the question.
Yeah, but more
Yeah.
information about Le Grand Jeu. Actually, I think that's really a great deck. I have it in front of me. It's here on my desk. That's this deck. And the really great thing about it is, because we all know, so I'm very much known for my work on the Petit Lenormand. But as we all know, Madame Lenormand, she had no direct link with the Petit Lenormand cards. Neither does she has a direct link with the Grand Jeu cards. But these cards they seem to be designed on her works, on her vision, because, there's a lot of stuff in there. When it's like overall divination, you have like geomantic symbols, you have like constellations with stars, you have like letters, where you could somehow, because this is a new replica deck. I owned a very old antique Grand Jeu, which I sold. And now I rather would have not done that. But anyway, I have a bit of sorrow in that regard, because anyway, that's the way it goes, But I was really intrigued by those cards, because they seem to gravitate around the life of Madame Lenormand, as we all know her. And we do have a podcast on Madame Lenormand, so maybe if you want to dive deeper into that, you have to go see our library. But Madame Lenormand, she was very much into Greek mythology, and all those different symbols. As you see, here is the depiction of Jason and the Golden Fleece, and somehow a hero's journey in Greek mythology. Here are cards, so the playing cards, and here she had like letters, and there you could somehow, with the old deck, there was also this small old antique French booklet. And since I am able to read French, because I live in a bilingual country, I really dived deep into that. So I also ran a course back in the days on the Grand Jeu. Yeah, and it works really amazing, because there is always interaction with cards beside that,
Yes.
There are different layouts, but to give you an idea, these images, they all have different meanings. So here is a meaning, here's a meaning. Here's always in the middle something with flower language. That's something really interesting from that era. In the middle there is or a depiction of a Greek scene from mythology, or often also alchemical stuff, because she was also in that, And then, of course, the constellations. And the letter, somehow that was in order to do some overall divination. Do you seek a lover? And you throw out some cards. And with these letters, you somehow construct a hint who that could be, or something like that. It's like a multi-layered pocket knife, if you want to. But it is a hell of a task to really learn it in depth and to remember everything, because each part of these cards, so you have always like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items on the card. and each has its own meaning. So can you imagine? And it's like 42 cards. So 42 cards times 7 meanings. That even more layered than learning the meanings of tarot cards. And that's also something the difficult part in this.
Yeah.
But I had so much accurate readings with that. If I could have the time, doing email readings, doing stuff for myself, and I really love this deck. But then you have, of course, the time, to lay out, and an email reading, that's a other kettle of fish because you have the time. So you lay your cards on there, and you can really resonate. You read the book, and you can think about that,
Yeah.
But I can assure you they are really, really, really accurate. Okay. That was my experience with it. But I have to be honest, I was never able to learn all those meanings out of my head, as I did manage with the Petit Lenormand and some other, like the Petit Detail. Yeah, Petit Detail is actually also written on the decks, but those were the Petit Jeu Lenormand, some playing card systems, and the Tarot de Marseille. Those I could somehow grasp in my head and work with, but I never succeed in doing it with this. But if you want to work with these cards and you really dive deep into it, you have, this is like, it's top notch, I think.
Oh, sorry, because I was going to say, that was actually the question one, the accuracy of it, but also the question was, would you use it for something more serious? This is a question in the YouTube. Use it for something more serious, or would he just lighthearted?
And there will be a lot of people listening who also read cards, but reading cards for myself was never my forte. But I think that will be with many people, because you either, at least in my experience, read what you fear or what you hope. But I did experience, because I owned all those classical decks, like the Sabine de Salon and all that, and the Roger. But if I really wanted to know something for myself and not influence it with a deck where I knew everything about it, I, for myself, had much more accurate readings with decks I did not own as much.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, because, then it's just on the table. These are the basic meanings, and then I construct a story with it. And that was my experience, and I would love to find out how you guys experienced it. But at least that was not my forte, since if you know everything, you somehow, or I was somehow constructing a story either for fear or hope. But maybe that's up to me, that I was not talented enough to read for myself. Yeah. But then this was my number one go-to deck for myself. Yeah. That's what and that's the proof that they work. Because otherwise, I was always, I have a love-hate relationship with cards. as you all know. But these are the relationships that go a long way. Yeah, but I was often somewhat disappointed by cards, as I said so many times. I screwed up myself. Probably I screwed up. Oh, sorry. What do you want me to say?
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say that because you have an interview, like where in one of our podcasts where you do talk about that. And then somebody else said, Bjorn, I think it is comparable with TDM as a system, but more specific. I'm not sure if that's a question, but TDM is a system, but more specific.
You mean the Tarot de Marseille?
Yes.
Well, no, it's not comparable with that. This is really a system, because they work alongside each other. So they do correspond in different ways. So this is a system. Whilst the Tarot de Marseille, these are single cards, and it's up to you if you put them beside them and read them somehow in a more fortune teller or playing cards way, that you have meaning A plus meaning B plus meaning C is a sentence, something like that, or a concept or whatever. This is much more layered, because like the Tarot de Marseille, you have just one meaning, one allegory on the card, or one pip card.
Let's see if there's any other comments. Yeah. Okay. That was the only comment. So with the two questions, there was two so far. So.
So now I'm wondering, did you ever work with them, Morgan?
So I bought a deck because for everyone, I'm fortunate enough that you actually wrote, a whole PDF on it, going into every detail, going into all your stuff. So I was fortunate enough to read that. So yes, I bought a deck, but like you said, I haven't really dove into it yet since I was waiting for your course.
And the course, well, we will bring them out later. So we will first deliver a really new Petit Lenormand course, but I definitely want to do also the Roger course. And these are the course is already existing, but that is the literal translation from the old antique French text.
Oh,
So that's why
okay.
it's so special, but it's also the case, it's difficult to read because language take an evolution, my mother tongue is Dutch, but way back Dutch sounded different. They had like other words, so it's an evolution, and it's the same as with French.
Yeah.
So I really had to translate that, and that was also in the same time that I really dived into the Petit Étaya and the work of Étaya. You really have I really had to go to those old French sources in order to understand what they really said, so that it was way far away from modern French we learned in school.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, wow. That's interesting. It must have been a task then.
Yeah, but as you said, these are the things I really like, all that nerd stuff. And I like to be up at night with a candle and trying to figure out who Étaya was. For me, I always said that, much more spiritual experience with that than reading cards, but yeah. I'm a bit different in that regards, I think.
No. Yeah. No, I love the history too. I like reading everything behind it because I feel like you have a better relationship with the cards when you do dive into reading it, seeing everything where it came from. But that's with everything.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of perception, Morgan, as always. For me, it's very much adding on to the atmosphere. If I can somehow, dive into that time era, I have a great imagination in that regards, and I always like biographies. So if I read like about Étaya, it's really interesting because I can, in my fantasy, go towards that era. I am in Paris then, So I think that's all for me.
Oh yeah.
By the way, now we are talking about Madame Lenormand. Yeah, probably she would have read cards by the system of Étaya.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Another Parisian big name and the first professional cardman. So as far as we know. Make sure that you are part of our upcoming events. We will launch the second part of our winter festivals at the 13th of December. There is an event for European time and there's an event for American time on the same day. So no one has to skip. So for everyone, there's the right time to be part of that. It's not just the event. We will provide a great essay, workbooks, a lot of value. Then on the 30th of December, is this right? We will do an event on the Petit Lenormand cards.
Yes.
So also make sure that you are part of that. So keep an eye on our socials, keep an eye on our website.
Yeah, and subscribe. If they subscribe, I always send out email announcements.
Yeah. So subscribe, you can only benefit with it.
Here we are on. Yay, hey everybody.
Hey, hello everyone.
Hey, we're at our lives, and as everyone remembers, we come live on Sundays, every Sunday and every Tuesday. So we'll always be live where you can discuss things with us live, have conversations, drop anything you want in the comments.
So it will always be, like Morgan said, on Tuesdays and Sundays. And we aim for like 9:30 p.m. Brussels time. That's how late now at yours?
3:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, so you have something to aim at, You can always see it afterwards because these lives are small podcasts, so we aim for like 30 minutes, but when Morgan and I start mumbling, we cannot shut up. So, But the big advantage is that you can be there live and ask questions and have interaction with us. So we really invite you to do so. So that's fun, that's engaging, but that's also, for us, very interesting because, so we can make a real worldwide community and have a chat. with you all over the world, wherever you are, from China to Africa, over to Brazil to America, you know. And
it's
so
fun.
today we will dive into another question. So
Yes.
there was this person. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Do you know who?
Yeah, I was just
needed to answer?
pulling it up right now in the community group. So she was just having problems between the like actual what, like, 'cause most people know the core meanings, but then putting those core meanings into actual what the combination is. So, like, if it's a question about, you know, relationships or work, and actually taking the question the next step up, taking the question to the next round.
Yeah.
So taking it to, like, oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So it was, I remembered a question of how the layers of a card are. I thought that this was a core problem, and from there on, how to build on that, you know?
Yeah, especially from the literal meanings, to layer it. Yeah.
Let me give very clear advice on that, and I want to read that out of my book and give some extra comments on that, because I could not have said it better in this book, at least in English. So, but I will give some more comments on that. But before that, we have to remind you, everyone listening in, that we have a Petit Lenormand event at the 13th of December. So we will dive in, shed a whole other light on the Petit Lenormand cards, give some extra information, give some new insights and all that. So please make sure that you are part of that. So it will be fun. It will be during Midwinter time. Yeah, we will have some festivities, and we will do some very special things never been done before. But to find out, you just have to follow us. Make sure that you are part of this Facebook group, because if you have more Petit Lenormand questions, or whatever questions to do with mystery, with symbolism, with rituals, whatever, you know, suits you fine, you can ask those questions and have right away communication with us. And we often take those answers live or come by surprise live in that Facebook group. So if you want to interact with Morgan or me, so you can have very easily contact in those groups. So please have a look under this video, wherever you are watching this, or if you are watching this live or later in retrospective, make sure that you are part of that. So we will give a lot of information on the Petit Lenormand. There is a lot of new information, new insights, you know. So we are back at business. So make sure you are part of that. Now I'm saying this, there will always also be on the 13th of December, our new Winter Warriors Festival. Make sure you're part of that as well. Enough of that. So I will answer this question. So in my book, the Petit Lenormand Encyclopedia, Volume 3, on page 12, and I will read right off the book, and then we'll talk about the different layers of the cards. So in the first two volumes of the Petit Lenormand Encyclopedia, you have learned that the meanings of the cards are a dynamic concept. That's the problem. So this concept has its absolute origin in the meaning given to the cards according to position they occupy with regard to the person card in the grand tableau. So reading the method of distance. This is strictly speaking the authentic, traditional way in which the cards must be read. After all, this was how it was explained in the instructions that came with the cards, since they were issued in the 19th century. From our contemporary point of view, it may even be hard to imagine that at the time our Petit Lenormand cards were only read in the grand tableau, applying the rules of the method of distance, as explained in Volume 2. So my Volume 2 books, for people who have not read it, is solely about the method of distance. The term method of distance would probably have sounded strange to the 19th century Lenormand reader. They would simply have called it the way or method to work with these cards, referring to the way it was described in the instructions. When we speak of the method of distance, it automatically implies that there is another method too, and that is definitely the case. You have learned how to use the cards outside of the grand tableau using an evolved methodology and logical extensions of the core value, as you could read in the Petit Lenormand Encyclopedia, Volume 1. And you have applied the original instructions in the grand tableau which was due in the Petit Lenormand Volume 2, the little white book with the method of distance instructions. So the meaning of the card read in proximity to the significator card. To fully understand the system and get the most out of it, it's important to remember that the oracle consists of the deck along with the original instructions. So that's also brought that up a few times. For me, an oracle can be like the cards, but could always or also be a person like those ladies in the Oracle of Delphi. So, of course, everything evolves, and so does the use and vision of our Petit Lenormand, but not always in a good way. Before we speak of progression in this context, I would prefer to see some solid proof of how the basic principle has been improved. The Latin proverb, bene quod bene, preservation of what is good, definitely applies here. For practical reasons, but also as a mark of respect for the tradition and the core principle that have determined the identity and spirit of our card system in the first place. The method of distance is described in Volume 2 of the Petit Lenormand Encyclopedia. It's a perfectly working system on its own. It is logical and clear and can provide a lot of information if you know how it works. I am very firm and radical in this. Yeah, I can read that. I think that I'm nowadays a little bit looser in that regard. It is radical. But radical, radical means that you go really to the core, to the roots,
Yeah.
to the... Yeah. So...
Yeah.
But I see it's a little bit rigid looking back at it now. But yeah, I'm still for that. But it's the way it is. I was like 10 years younger back then, but I still somehow stand for that. But I see I took it much more serious back then than I do that now. So yeah.
I think it's very clear. That's how I learned. Okay.
This original system doesn't need any improvement. It's perfect as it is. Nevertheless, when we look at the method of distance through a modern lens, we must admit that there are certain subjects that can't be fully addressed by the use of core rules only. Yes, and we also have to admit that. Looking at it with a critical eye, we can state that the original system will not fully lead to satisfaction in a modern context. This has encouraged card readers to look for solutions to fill in certain gaps, and there is nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. So I'm glad I also said that, because that's the case. Yeah. Quite the contrary, facilitating options there where the core ID fails to deliver is a noble goal. That is exactly where the progression or progress is justified. Perfecting is a term that is most appropriate here. I sound like a moralist. Various attempts at perfection have been made spontaneously throughout history, of which some turned out to be more successful than others. The greatest inspiration for this were the systems and customs described in all books about card reading with playing cards or the tarot. The system described in these books have also proved to be more or less compatible with the Petit Lenormand cards, with some adjustments here and there. In 1770, Etea is already mentioned, the use of what I call area of life cards in the Petit Lenormand Encyclopedia. The same Etea and many other authors of relevant classics described all kinds of special spreads in their work that people have started to use for the Petit Lenormand. The methodology that states that a card that falls on top of another card influences and thus describes it was a pensée unique among cartomancers even before the Petit Lenormand cards arrived on the scene. And that's actually true. If you read the work of Etea and all that, so this was really how they started with it. So this is the original way of reading cards, and it's true cartomancy. That's also why I was a little bit radical in that. With common sense and logic, and of course with respect for the original source, we can speak of progression in the true sense of the word. It also allows us to consult the cards outside of their original habitat, which is the grand tableau, when using a small spread with a focused question without the need to read all the important areas of life. This enables us to work in a more practical way, because we don't always have to put all 36 cards on the table as stated in the original instructions. However, we should never lose sight of the core principle when making adjustments, especially when it comes to adding logical meanings to the cards. These evolutionary meanings should always be logical extensions of the core meanings. The absolute basic principle of the Petit Lenormand method of distance is that the closer a card is dealt to the person card, the greater its influence will be. So that's a very clear, simple, and good system, I find, isn't it? So you can really see it.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I love the structure. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no denial. If there is a good card in your vicinity for, the flowers, you rather have the flower, the scent of those flowers next to your person card than far away. Otherwise, you cannot send it. Neither can you have the positive influence from it. Mm-hmm. I like that. It's simple. And it's also good for your sitter because you can really point it out. That's why I like it. And they can understand it. You see, here is the snake, and the snake is very close to you. So you can understand that even if you are not a counterman.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. Less is more.
Yes.
So you can get good and or bad cards around you. These placements will then give an indication of the events or situations that will take place around the person card. What I just said. When dealt in the comfort zone, the book number 626, these cards. It's a card that creates a haze of mystery or hidden info. The meaning it has, that's the energy it has. The core value is a secret. And I want to take you on a trip to think conceptual. So you will have to process this concept along with the other cards into a new concept in order to understand its true nature. But this new concept must in any case be connected to the core of the matter. Secret, uncertain, unprecedented content. So that's somehow how far you can stretch it without losing contact with the core value. So this can only be strengthened or weakened by the other cards or the context of the situation. You must consider the minimum and maximum range of the core values of all the cards. At worst, I always saw it like a spectrum in that regard. So at worst, the book will refer to a terrible secret when it is surrounded by negative cards. So that's logically. Mm-hmm. So the book in your comfort zone brings stuff you don't know. Best case, you don't know that there will be a surprise party for you. But worst case, you don't know with the fox or the snake that you will get backstabbed.
Yes.
Yeah, and you don't even see it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, surprise frenemy.
That's the way it goes. Yeah. At worst, the book will refer to a terrible secret when it is surrounded by negative cards. Perhaps even an absolute taboo. In the best case, it will simply be something harmless that you don't know or notice, and that hasn't even been intentionally caused by someone else. So maybe someone has a secret crush on you.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Whatever the other cards hint for that. Yeah? Nevertheless, a situation where the book is involved will always show a certain lack of transparency. You see what I do? I really stretch with it. So I work with the concept. Mm-hmm. But I also have to keep in mind that those are all the options, but the other cards dealt around that will confirm or deny that. Yeah. So for me, it's like, like a doctor looks at a patient. So there are some symptoms and you have some possible pathologies, and then you seek for either confirmation or denial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, a scientific brain.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think Lenormand, you have to be. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know that you have to be, but you can do it the way you want, but it has this logical structure. Old school cartomancy is logic. It's not fluffy.
No.
And there is nothing against fluffy. So that's the way you want to do it. Some people want to hear fluffy things, but it's very practical. And I think like those old cartomancy decks, like Petit Lenormand, you can do it however you want, but everyone can understand it if you start from a really practical way, and how you use that. Yeah, that's your personal flavor.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I really advise you to be authentic in that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they always say, after all these years, give people an experience.
Yes.
And you can only give them an experience as you are authentic.
Yes.
Whatever you read.
Yeah.
If you want to read like really Itea himself, or you read like, whatever on the other side of the spectrum and everything in between.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Yeah.
I love it.
The first meaning of the card is its core value, which it derives from the meaning that it acquires depending on its proximity to the person card. So now we are like going next stage. So it has this undeniable fixed core meaning in the method of distance. So we only have one historical reference, and that's the little booklet, is the little white book, which always was with the cards in whatever country. This is our only security. This is our only fixed document. So, yeah. And I took that very serious.
Mm-hmm.
So the first meaning of the card is the core value, which it derives from the meaning that it acquires depending on its proximity to the person's card. So the core value of the book number 626 is a secret. The first layer are the keywords that are direct, logical extension of the original core value. Logical and valid extensions of a secret are that which is unknown, unknown content, the unknown, unspoken, hidden. If you can think conceptually, it sounds logical.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and I think that's also that makes a good practice. That was what I did with my students when I still was teaching live classes within a classroom. Be playful with that. Try to find as much as possible synonyms for the core meaning.
Mm-hmm.
But you can never lose contact with the core.
Yes.
So you have like the color red, and everything that's still in the in the same color. Yeah, but it could never be yellow. Maybe orange at max. You see what I mean? It's like These newly created meanings are still directly connected and can always be reduced to the core value is secret. So the secret, the core meaning is like the big denominator. Mm-hmm. And from there on, a lot of branches can start up with nuances. Like that. The second layer are the keywords that have evolved logically and whose origin lies in the image of the card or the possible symbolic meaning that can arise from it. And the best example for that is like card number 4, the house. This is, by the way, my old deck I always used with clients. It's very dirty and all that. It went to a lot of wars. So card number 4, the house, can also simply mean a house, just like number 19, the tower or the high tower can represent a building, through their direct associations with the images of the cards. So if you don't know anything about Petit Lenormand, and you would just give out those cards, what could this actually mean? And you would ask this question to a random person. And so with a creative mind, they just can come up with, and I don't think that you have to, maybe if you ask it like on little kids, they will tell you right away, it's a house. Yeah, it's a tower. And if you ask, okay, what tower could that be? Can you imagine? It's maybe the big apartment where my grandma lives. Or I see in that the big library of the city, something like that.
Yeah.
So, but you need to be careful with these associations because they only have a right to exist if they are not already represented to the core value of another card. And here it often goes astray. They must be an added value and offer something that is not there yet. I mean, in the whole possibility of meanings. Because somehow, and also talked with Rena George about that, and Rena, if you hear that, you will probably know what I mean by that. And she also said that. And please go back and listen to her podcast episode. She also stated that the structure of a good cartomancy system has to be able to express everything possible. But that's logic, because a lot of things happen in life, and you also have to have cards that represent either on their own or in combination.
Yes.
Right away, you have to be able to read that. Otherwise, we cannot forewarn or do an analyze or whatever. It's logical, yeah. But you have to, if you look at the structure of things, of the Petit Lenormand, in the end, I did a lot of research on that. I did, to make as good as possible, as valid as possible, decisions in filling up the gaps that are clearly there. Because they give us just a stupid little white book. They give us a hint of the system, and it's very logically,
Yeah.
Yeah, good cards within your comfort zone is bad, a bad card. But then all of a sudden there are bad cards who are better dealt close to you because they are bad anyway.
Yeah.
That's strange, I think, if you want to make it blurry, you have to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I often say that, and people don't like me saying that, but I don't think that they have been sitting weeks around the table to think about a good layered logical structure. No, they did not. I think they somehow made it in 1 hour after maybe like 20 beers or something.
There you go.
And I'm sorry, but that's what I always said.
Yes.
But anyway, that's the way it is, and then we have to deal with it. We have to construct a language with that. So some concepts are expressed by one card or in the system. For instance, the moon is for honor. And if the card is dealt far away from you, the moon cannot shine its honors on you. So you're not like in the spotlight, for instance.
Shadows.
Yeah.
Hiding.
So,
there's a snake in between, someone's stealing it.
But you see, but in the method of distance, they express that right away. So we have a card that expresses honor. What gives you either honor or dishonor? That has to be read in combination with the other cards.
Yes.
And then will it tell where is the applause coming from? Is that whatever? Or you also have to see the structure. How can it work for you? And that was my big aim, to express that. To see that through, to see the system, to see even the handicaps in the system. Because it has a lot of handicaps, and there we have to be much more creative to fill in the gaps. And maybe that's why it was so maybe more radical, and you have more like an orthodoxy in the little white book, in order for respect of the oracle, of course, because I know that you can read as cards with whatever, you don't have to read in distance, but it was out of respect of the tradition. Moreover, there must be an associative logic with the image itself, without ignoring the other cards in the deck. The meaning from the second layer of number 4, the house, which could be a house or a small building. At number 19, the high tower, which could be a large building, cannot be interchanged. That sounds logically, but because there would be no efficiency and no logic in that. Other than that, we have like 2 buildings, and one building is bigger, so that could stand for the big buildings, and you can fill in whatever big building, but other cards dealt next to that big building explains what building it is. So dealt with the fish, the money card, it could be a bank or corporation. With the moon, it could be your workplace, and so on and so forth. Whereas the house dealt with the tree, could be a doctor. So tree stands for health, and you actually read a health house. And then you have to fill it in a doctor. So you have to somehow decode. It's like a codex. The same tree dealt next to the tower. If you never had read Petit Lenormand, you could somehow come to the conclusion that what would be an hospital. Because health big building. It would be absurd to see the house as a large building, while the tower is more suitable for it. And that's why somehow I find I have to be strict on that in order to make logical choices. That's what's behind that for me. The entire deck is a complex system that you shouldn't tinker with without understanding the entire story. You would take the oracle out of balance, and that could never be the intention because you make it unusable. It is therefore advisable to remain faithful to the meanings that you have learned throughout the Petit Lenormand Encyclopedia. This is a coherent system that is fully in line with the historical but also methodologically evolved teachings of the Petit Lenormand cards. You need to understand the structure of the system to get the most out of it. Let me clarify on this. There are a lot of good Petit Lenormand books and authors and all that, which I would advise for. So I'm not saying it my meanings are be all end all, because I have some different takes on some cards which are also good in their own right. There was also always this difference in what's the work card after all, and that's the proof. There is no really work card in the method of distance. So you somehow have to construct it in the system. And some people take the cards for that, or like the moon for that. And it's not that either is better than the other, but you have to see how that works in the construction.
Yeah.
And there are slightly differences and all that, but of course, I think it's good to take one system and be fluent with that before you add on another system.
I agree.
But you will find a big denominator with many authors. I would advise to read the books of Caitlin, Andy Baroga Shangri, whatever Donna Lay brings, and sorry, whoever, Rena George, and all those great people, I really...
They have some amazing books.
Yeah. Really. Then it has more nuance when I read it here and I explain what I meant by it. But it would not be good to do 10 systems at one time.
No. Like you said, starting with Lenormand, simple is always best.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And not only with the Petit Lenormand, with everything.
Yeah.
So the associative meanings. What a word, associative. That's much easier to say in Dutch. Are either derived directly from the image itself. Number 18, the dog, also a dog, or from the general symbolic association with that image. The core meaning of number 17, the stork, is change. Here, my stork. At least in the method of distance. In our general symbolism and popular experience, the stork also stands for pregnancy, which if you would show it to people in the street, they probably, they don't know Lenormand, they would never, if you don't know it, come up with change. I will not say never, that's too absolute, but that would not be logical, this change. Neither is it logical, because 3 is also a good symbolism, because the life tree, that's something. But here in the Petit Lenormand cards, you rather are not under the tree because then you are sick. So the 3 rather stands. 3 stands for the life area of health. But actually, the core meaning, if you read it, is like sickness.
Yes.
It's a bad card. So you see, it's really strange constructions. So, and some symbols or some emblems are logically, but there's also the distinction between a symbol and an emblem, technically. Because normally we should call the Petit Lenormand cards emblems, but only for the Petit Lenormand users, by definition what a symbol is, we can call it a symbol, because we have consensus about it. And we need consensus to what it stands for. Most often, it's not. There's a lot of different meanings symbolically often than it is known for in the symbolism amongst us Petit Lenormand readers. This leads to a lot of blind spots, a lot of and especially if you say, I want to read the cards with however it's comes over to me or whatever, that's a difficult thing with the Petit Lenormand. But I believe that you will be able to do a good reading with that. But if you really read cards, cardaments, you're reading those cards in a system, you will go astray. But that's a difficult part to think about. So I really think that you have to see the structure, the benefit, but also the handicaps.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
So
That's what,
in our general symbolism and popular experience, I read it again, the stork also stands for pregnancy. That's an overall idea we somehow all will agree on.
Yes.
And nowadays, almost like worldwide.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Stork. Yeah. In every
pregnancy.
culture. Yeah.
By the way, in our Midwinter event, I will also talk about the stork, because in archaic view, everything which is under the water is also seen as the underworld. And the idea was that the stork was landing on the water, took a soul out of the water, then flew on the roofs. And where is the stork sitting on the roof? On the chimney.
Yes.
Okay, is there a stork on your roof, on your chimney? Okay, you can make your child room, you can prepare it, because you see, but the idea was they took it from the other world and bring it to the chimney.
I like that. That's,
so make sure, because your stork will also be not the Lenormand stork, but the overall symbolism will be in the Midwinter event at 13 December. So there is no other card that covers pregnancy through its core value, and since we need a subject in order to be able to discuss all aspects of life, the symbolic meaning, popular association of the stork becomes usable here and therefore legitimate.
Yeah.
I hope that this really lands what my reasoning behind it.
I think so. And if anyone has questions,
do it again.
What if anyone has questions? There's people watching, so they can ask.
Please, people ask. And if you want to become back in the next live, or maybe like in between. But we need a card, just like Brenna said, in order to express pregnancy. Anyway, no other card is referring to that, so we can do that with this.
Yeah, and that is huge change.
Yeah,
long-term change.
But that's the strange thing on the Petit Lenormand. You have to somehow, you don't have to do anything, but if you want to work with that, you really also have to take it the way it is.
Yeah.
You have to cope with unlogical facts. It's like the tree is like sickness. And there are better cards to express sickness. Every negative card could express sickness better than the tree. Overall general symbolism. I think everyone can agree on that.
Yeah.
But you have to take it as it is.
Yes, with the tree.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to really go with the flow of the
the tree, the sickness.
So the second layer of the card, number 26, the book, could mean in that regard study, knowledge, and the life area of a student.
Yeah.
Because no other card could express this better, and you need that to read about anyway.
Yeah.
So you cannot say, the tree is about study. And there is nothing about study in the original method of distance.
Oh,
so we have to find out, in order to, because we also want to know about our studies or whatever. But it's not in the method of distance. There is no distance meaning about study.
Interesting. But it makes sense with the book.
You have to see the handicaps in that. If you do a classical grand tableau method of distance, you will find out about your health, love life, heritage, and all that, but nothing about study. Nothing about sexuality, because back in the days there was no sex. in those eras.
Untalked about. It was like the book. Hidden things and secrets not to talk about.
But afterwards, now all of a sudden there is sex, so we have to have a card for that. Then we can listen. Then we can, like I said in my book, the thing that comes closest to sex, is like the lily, with its reference to the Greek. But there's also something to say for the whip.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of people in their books, say that.
And if I look back at it now, reconstructing, I think I would change the whip for sex cards instead of the lily. Especially because the Petit Lenormand is a German invention, and the whip in Germanic countries stands for fertility. Also with the Midwinter festivals, and you see like Krampus and all those, or St. Nicholas and this army of clowns and all that with their face painted and all that, they also always carry whips. And those whips are symbolically to whip women on the butt, to hit trees, to hit acres in order to kindle fertility. Besides that, the rod, like in Dutch roede, also alludes to the phallus. Looking back, I should have chosen that card better. But I leave it how it is. That's how it is. It's more for other people in that regard. You see, but it's also how you take an evolution in that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But anyway, I could have I did very good readings, but I had my sexuality card. So that's also how you cast that card as to be standing for that, and it's maybe not even worth the discussion which is best, the lily or the whip. It both alludes to that. How I feel about it nowadays is that it would be slightly better to cover that in the overall.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You evolve.
Yeah.
And then back in the days, people would really clash. Whoa, that's not true. And
yeah. Well, because like you're saying too, different cultures. Like one culture saw the whip this way, one saw it this way. So you get through the same place, but through different views.
Two different views. Yes, that's the way it is. So number 26, the book, plus number 34, the fish, can mean several things. For example, a magazine. So the book stretched as a meaning that you can derive from what is literally there, but a magazine about finance or economy. The fish brings to the table because it has the money value.
Yes.
But it might just as well be a magazine about fishing.
Yeah, that's true.
Both literal. You see? What happens? So you use 2 times the literal meaning, or you have one extension from the core meaning plus a literal meaning.
Yes.
You see how you have you need that in order to be able to read that. As stated by Rana, as stated by probably everyone who knows, if you can only write a letter with the half of an alphabet, you could maybe do a good letter, but you could never write anything you want. See? The same way. The third layer is the layer containing all derivatives of the core values and the other 2 layers. This is the layer of meanings that are used in specific areas and contexts, and that also has its specific place in the system as a whole. Those specific areas are, for example, physical descriptions, character descriptions, time indication, body parts, health issues, occupations, study choices. This is the layer that we will cover in this book. First, we will go deeper in the third layer when used to describe or indicate something. After that, we will mainly focus on how this layer can be used in the era of health. And then I go further with descriptions of lovers, characters, and all that. So I hope that I shed a light on the layers of the cards, but also on the construct of meanings and the system as a whole.
No, I think so. And like anyone listening, if you have questions, I'm monitoring, the chat. So if anyone has questions, definitely post them in so we can answer anything with Lenormand, or the questions, especially if we're talking about, like you were saying, in your book, the symbolic meanings, how they're going together. And I really like that, the symbolism, because I think you talked about that, or the synonymism. How, I really like that because, not a lot of people say that specifically, that, red could be crimson, could be all these different things that are exactly the same but never yellow. You know what I mean? So that it really broadens your mind about the literal meaning, that the literal meaning has a bunch of synonyms. You know what I'm going for.
You're back to the second beer, Morgan.
Yeah, exactly. Hard to lights pouring in on me.
But that's the thing, you have to understand how the construction is made and how you can make use of that.
Yes.
And for me, especially, that's very important to see that, and in order to work with that.
Yeah.
And that was what I was hoping to express in my books.
No, they're good. And
but you have to make up your mind.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think that you have to make up your mind in order to see how that works for you.
Oh, yeah. But that's why I've always liked your books. And that's where I started, because it's so clear and concise that you can make your own structure from it. You can really explore the cards through how you're putting it. So you can start seeing the patterns to delve into your own practice, like you said, once you get those core basics as well, but that it gives you not only that clear foundation, but a clear place to go when you're done reading them.
Thank you. I take that for a compliment. That was what I wanted to achieve. But you can do the same with whatever source that you follow. So if you rather like the meanings that Rana gives or Donnelly, and it's not that we are that different, but we have some other takes on stuff, and each good in his own right. So I can totally understand where Donnelly is coming from, where Caitlin is coming from. I can really see that. But that's also the big advantage. If you know your system,
Yes.
you can also understand how others come to the conclusion. And it's not worth the discussion which is the best sex card, because we have to choose that as well. And as long as it alludes to that, it's okay. But if you say, okay, for me the fish is like the sex card. Well, okay, that's good and it's all right, but I don't. Why? Why is that? That holds no logic in regards to the core meanings. That holds no logic in regards of, except if you have like a fish fetish, then of course that's like you. But if you, and that's on the general population, I don't know. I think people will not understand it.
No. Like I said, then we're getting into very specific niches, you know.
Also niche markets. As a therapist, nothing is a surprise. So.
No, that's true.
Whole other kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But I can understand that this is very difficult for people to see that layerness and what are they allowed. You are allowed to do whatever you want, but therefore it's good to follow somehow a structure and get that down and then see, okay, can I advance it? Can I make changes? I think that would be the most fruitful way. And I'm far from a moralist. I don't want to tell you how to do stuff. I wrote those books, actually maybe for myself to understand how I did it. How my mind is not structured and how I could see that. And that could maybe come to aid for other people where it somehow resonates. So,
So someone did have a question. I have to learn the basics better before I can ask an intelligent question. Oh, okay. Well, and also, definitely join the December 30th, event so you can, and get the books too if you haven't gotten the books. But really there's no such thing like as an intelligent question. Ask anything that comes to mind, ask any, because it's all intelligent, because everyone starts from somewhere. Everyone starts from the very beginning. You don't have to learn anything before you ask a question. Just ask.
If you ask questions, that's a sign of intelligence.
Yes, definitely.
Ask questions.
Yes.
But that's also how it's in the books, but it's logical. I think the best atmosphere to learn is playful. Being playful with, That's also how I structured the books. First, I took the playing cards, especially to not dive too much into general symbolism. Just playing cards, take the corresponding inserts and write four meanings on the card. And that is somehow doing a rebus. Is this an English word, rebus?
Maybe.
Like a word play.
Oh, yes.
So you have two cards. So change and longevity. What can that be? Your longevity will change, or change in your longevity. That you learn quick associations, very playful. So even if you study with two people, I like to do some back in the days when I was still teaching. One has the half of a pack and the other, and you show one card and you say, okay, this is the meaning, and the other one says the meaning, and then you make somehow a sentence or a new concept or a new understanding.
And stretch the imagination, you always say, the childlike mind, to stretch that imagination of what it could possibly be.
It's like being playful, and I think also neurologically that you somehow, for me it's because I also come from sports, that's the aim for training. So training is somehow prepare yourself to think fast, to get involved with the system and all that. And then when you do the game or the match, when you do the reading or whatever, that you somehow instinctively, without being too rational, connect with what you learned in training. I also think that the way how intuition works. I doubt if you can be intuitive about something that you don't know. Or did not experience yet, either in real life or in your mind. So I think I really also believe in mind training. This is also mind training, because I like to practice. So I see, okay, let's imagine that I have a very important client called Morgan. I'm this was how I was reading cards. By how I practiced, I imagined that someone has a profile before me. This is now for an old lady. This is for a middle-aged man. In order to train my mind, and then I would read, it's like the pathways. It's you stand for a choice. And the lily stands for like virtue. So you stand for a choice, maybe like a cross point in your life where you have to choose for something virtuous. And that's the way it goes.
Yeah. She said it's a puzzle.
It's a puzzle, yeah. This is real life Sudoku.
Definitely.
If you want to train your mind. Expand it. This is the best thing to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And that's you have someone to resonate with. You have something that makes you thinking. If you do it too.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. I like pulling the cards because even now still I like to pull like two just to expand like what's the craziest out there idea you can make with the cards, to really, expand your mind.
But you can also work the other way around. So you hear something on the news or you hear someone saying that. Then I was always like, okay, but how can I express this in the cards or how could I read that in the cards?
Love doing that.
And we practiced this. So I took some magazines to the classes or some papers, and then you had like the headlines.
Yes.
So, man died in car crash.
Yeah.
Okay, express that.
Yeah.
Man, car, coffin, crash.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But then you could see that there will also be other possibilities in that combination. So you have to know them all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because then you allow the voice of the oracle.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Either see that for what it is, or but we have to translate the oracle.
Yes. Bring it out.
That's what I think. That's what cardomancy is. So we throw something on the table.
Yeah.
I always find that I have to adjust to the cards and not the other way around. That's a vision. I don't want to be all end all because there were a lot of discussions used to happen in the past. I never got my head into that because it's like a wasp nest.
Oh yes, I can imagine you're saying that.
People were very serious about that,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it's not worth to fight about that, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, of course. But on the other hand, if you want to do it good, I think you cannot do without a coherent system.
Yeah.
And I really believe if you say, okay, I don't want to follow any tradition, I will find out my own way to work with that. Yeah, I really do believe that you can do that. Mm-hmm. But that's a hell of a task. And you really have to really be able to think and layers and all that. But I'm very much sure that you will be able to do that.
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
Then you have to work and grind years of adjustments and all that to come to the point.
Yes.
You can already start right away.
Yes. Yeah.
It's that crazy. But if you then want to do your own system, and that can be just as good. But then you also have to have fixed meanings or in order to denominate it. Then you have to do the same. And you also have to be a bit rigid.
Yes.
That's a paradox, isn't it?
Oh yes, I know. Definitely a full-time task.
Yeah. But on the other end, you can do whatever you want. If you want to use those cards to put on your cup of coffee that your table guy's not there, it's also okay. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Lay him on your cat or something.
It's like a multifunctional pocket knife, I always say. The better you take care of it, the nicer it will be for you.
Yeah, definitely. We talked about that in the last podcast of how working with the cards. Goes with all systems. Like you said, how you take care of it, work with it, connect with it.
Yeah, well, it's like a connection because you have to understand each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And understand yourself, of course.
Definitely. Yeah. That's why that's a good episode to watch for people if they want to connect with cards.
Yeah. So it's strange that we can't find that post again in the Facebook group, so I cannot call the... it was a lady who asked the question, I know that, but I'm sorry I forgot your name, but I hope I shed a light on your question. If that's not the case, please say so, and I will explain it differently.
I know I screenshotted it, but it's in a different... I've got like a bunch... Working with the Mystery Channel, I got like 8 different devices at all times I'm working with, like So it's on a different device, but I will find it and I will find the person and just send them a message, through the community.
It was in our Mystery Channel Facebook group. So
Yeah.
people, please, be part of that, because we are active there. You can follow up on everything. I don't have that much time to answer all those questions right away. I hate typing. It's not my mother tongue. I don't even like typing a lot in Dutch, even though I'm like an author. that's also a paradox. But I really like surprises. If you have questions, we bundle them, and I rather talk about that. I always opt for conversation.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Then we will also make the difference. So often we will come live by surprise, but just be there, be part of that, so that you can be part of the community. And you also have
absolutely.
your say. So we will do the event on the 13th of December in regards to the Petit Lenormand. And we also have our script, but we also give you the chance to bring in some questions, so that we somehow do a talk on demand.
Yeah.
Something to say like that. So let us know, where do you struggle with? Where do you want to shed your light on? So we can take Oudermans to a whole new level. Because we will do a lot more like in the next year. So I will publish again, probably the last book of the Petit Lenormand I will publish on the tarot, but I will make sure that we take it next level, that we do something never has been done before.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
There's a lot on the pipeline.
Yeah,
and if you want to be part of that, want to enjoy that right away, because we will give some hints. You just have to be part of that. Come to our Facebook groups, Mystery Channel, follow us, our socials, be part of our podcast. We have all the best authors.
Yes. I just did a post about that today too. And we're on every social media thing. So if they go to the website as well, we have all the stuff there too. So
be part of the movement.
Yes,
Mystery
definitely.
Channel is like a movement.
Yes.
So we want to stay far away from all those bad discussions. At least I encountered back in the days. It's
we have better.
We want to be a supporting community, but also take it next level on a more intellectual, but also more psychological, even anthropological way. So it's time for next level. It's time for a revolution.
Yes, exactly. Like branching out rebel.
So, we have to round it up. Make sure you are part of the live on Sunday.
Yes.
And it depends on you where we will talk about.
I'll have questions every day. Like even today, I put something about directionality. So check back in the community every day. There's always fun challenges. Answers, polls, quizzes, so discussions.
Dare to ask, and you will be answered.
Yes, exactly. We're all over the place. Okay.
Bye, everyone. See you on Sunday. And make sure that you go right to our socials, follow us, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram,
everywhere. TikTok.
I will not be dancing, but we are on TikTok.
We have some fun videos though on TikTok. So we have
maybe
some fun
more
videos.
Than will dance.
I have some location.
I can do a poll, but I'm not dancing.
There's some location videos on that too. So there's some fun stuff on there.